In this video, we are replacing the Pitman arm and steering center link on this 1998 GMC Sonoma. Look at that slop. That's the notchiness I've been feeling. You can see our rag joint moving. So this is the steering center link. This is the Pitman arm. This is a two-wheel drive truck. They are different. Not sure about the steering link. I don't think it asked for that. We got these parts at Summit. This is a Moog part. You can see it's a DS1047. That is for the steering center link. And this is the Pitman arm. It is a K440031. And let me show you where they are. Before we do that, let's take the keys, put in ignition. I'm going to show you how loose the steering wheel is. And we'll center it up like that. The wheels are pretty centered, I think. And you can see that's actually pretty much all the slop we have right in there. And if I drive, ooh, right there's a notch. So we got real notchy, and that's where the Pitman arm to that center link is like binding. And you actually feel it while you're driving. It's like right in there. So we got about that much play in our steering, and not all of it might be in the steering linkage, but a good bit of it is, and we'll evaluate that after we replace this. So we're all set up. You can see we have jack stands, our wheels are off the ground, jack stand, I got a jack, I got our Pitman arm puller. I don't know if this is going to work. This is really for like ball joints, but we're going to try. We got all our new parts here, and let's look at what we're going to be dealing with. This is the center link. We can see our tie rod end connects to our spindle, goes through here, connects to one side of the center link, and it's going to be the same thing on the other. And our Pitman arm connects here. Well, I got it about 3 times. I said I'm done. I brought the whole toolbox out here. But a 1 5/8 is going to fit our Pitman arm. This is a 3/8 socket I got. I'm going to adapt down to a 1/2 inch, and we'll use this 1/2 inch impact and knock it off. Well, that escalated quickly. Went ahead and removed the sway bar. The Pitman arm nut came off very easy with that 1 5/16 I think it was. But I couldn't get the tool, the Pitman arm tool, onto here because the sway bar was in the way. So that was 4 10mm bolts, which is 2 on each side. And then, of course, you see I put the hardware back where it was. And then our sway bar end links are 13mm on the bottom, and I just used an adjustable on the top and used a 3/8 impact and got that all out of the way. And now we can take our tool and wrap around this collar. As you can see, that's kind of how I wanted it. I was hoping that we have the wheels pigeon-toed in because we pulled the whole linkage together and we got it over the support here. So what happened was I went ahead and had to remove the nuts off of both sides of the steering linkage, which were 18mm. Once I did that, I took this pickle fork that I got into this Harbor Freight kit. That was just multiple pickle forks here. And I chose the right size by just taking the old one and seeing which pickle fork fit over this one right. It doesn't really matter that we're going to damage our joints here or anything, because this is all, we got new stuff. But usually I don't like using pickle forks because they will damage your boots. So that's where I like using this tool, which is, I usually got to add washers and stuff because it'll damage your actual studs if you're using that stuff. But that's for another video. So it came out of once we took the 18mm nuts off of both ends, then used the pickle fork, we got the drop. Once I got the drop, then I was able to use our Pitman arm tool with the big 3/8 impact, and when it popped, guys, it boom! Pretty good, startling pop. Once then, I was able to remove this Pitman arm, and then I was able to finagle the steering linkage to here. So we got everything out. That was probably one of the easiest suspension removal jobs I've done in a while. So I noticed that everything came off with barely just bumping this ratchet. And this is kind of long, but still, usually I almost wonder if some of this stuff wasn't torqued as tight as I do, which might be part of the problem. Maybe some of the stuff we had a little bit loose of a fit on, because this is a tapered fit. So it uses tension to create that wedge that locks everything in. But I got everything sitting next to each other. I just want to lay everything, you know, make sure everything's matched up before we start reinstalling and realize we got an issue. So you can see there's some differences here in design, but looks all pretty good from here. Our links the same. Got to really look at our holes here. Our mounting holes seem about right. Like I said, slightly different design, but looks like all our mounting points are right. So saying that, I need to get a grease gun because we're going to re-grease everything. We got to put our grease certs in here. Usually these are 1/4 inch. Put our rubber garments that came with our kit in there. And then put Humpty Dumpty back together and see if we got any improvements. We got our Pitman arm installed. Used the big impact on 2. Got it up. I did make it a little bit of a hassle of getting our center link with both wheels connected back over this brace. So what I had to do is just kind of move the suspension back and forth, move the idler arm out of the way. I was able to get it over here, and then it was all discombobulated left to right. So then I started and I got the Pitman arm bolt in, put the nut on. Then I was able to move it around some more, both tires, which is kind of a pain because it's stiff, and was able to get the idler arm back in. And then we got everything torqued down. You can see we got cotter pins, cotter pin. This is the new lock nut that came in that Moog kit. So for it, because my actual, I guess you call it a tapered seat that's in the center, or notice inner tie rod wanted to spin, I put the old nut on and caused it, wore out on the locking mechanism, ran it down to get that taper seat seated, which then held it. Then I was able to take it back off and use the brand new locking nut with the impact, of course. Other than that, we got grease and everything. We did upper and lower ball joints, outer tie rods. The inner tie rods don't have one. Oh yeah, it does. So I need to do the inner tie rods. There's grease certs on, like I feel one right there. It's actually on the corner. That's interesting. And that's it. I got someone out here and helped me move everything around. We do definitely still got some slop. I agree with everyone that these rag joint, that's going to be my next move. I'm going to change it. And then after that, then we'll start messing with the steering gearbox adjuster, which is right here. That is heavily debated on interwebs, but we'll give it a go. Anyways, that's taking some slop out of our rear end, our rear end, oh look at that grease. Dang, I busted that boot. So you can still see it oozing out. I was putting in grease until I seen the boot move, and I guess that was too much. Oop, same thing for over there. Dadgum, I knew it was way too much, but I didn't see it moving. So, okay, about forgot to put the sway bar on. Well, I wouldn't have forgot, just forgot to record. Put the sway bar on. I had some poly sway bar end links that I'm going to put on the truck. The ones that came off a little bit crusty. Something I did notice while greasing everything is that lower ball joint doesn't have a cotter pin. So I checked the torque on it. It feels okay. So we're going to put a cotter pin in it. We're going to put these nice end links on it. And I think that will be it. Then we'll go for a test drive. I will take y'all along for that. So it still does got some slop in it. I think we're going to go down. It's definitely better. It ain't notchy. It's just... Before I almost had like a jerk feeling. It doesn't have that. We're just back to being sloppy. Still got the same amount of play in it. So it feels safer about it, but still not right. So next we're going to try in another video the steering shaft. I think there's a company, Flame something, that makes one. We're going to try it, but I'm going to end this video off here. Thanks for coming by. I hope this helped somebody. And on to the next one.